new at 11. Did you know one of the largest telescopes of its kind in North America is right here in Greenville? The telescope in the Charles Daniels Observatory at Robert Mountain Science Center has a lot of history. Now, it was bought by Greenville County Schools more than 40 years ago. And Fox Carolina's Zach Prelutsky is live in our studio tonight with more on this piece of history. Zach?
Anna, it's actually the 8th largest refracting telescope on the continent, and this is just an example of one of the things you can see out of it. Now, this is a picture of the sun taken with that telescope, and for decades it was the main telescope at Princeton University, and the story of who may have looked through the lens and what it's been associated with is as cool as the views it provides. Nestled at the highest point of the Roper Mountain Science Center, when the roof on the observatory opens up and the telescope is pointed at the right place, these are some of the sights you can see.
The science part of it, it's super exciting to just get the hands-on experience for my child, and seeing such a beautiful telescope, really knowing that it's nearby, we can see the moon, the stars, and that's also super exciting to show him that up close.
Besides the views, this telescope has history.
None of them is exactly the same as ours. They're all different sizes. They're all unique. The lens in the telescope is the one part that we know has never been replaced, and it's pretty much irreplaceable.
Made in the 1880s, the telescope and its 23-inch lens lived at the Princeton University Observatory for decades. During that time, people like Albert Einstein were on campus. It was also featured in the infamous War of the Worlds radio broadcast in the 1930s.
As part of that broadcast, they claimed at one point to be at the Princeton Observatory looking at Mars and seeing strange activity on Mars.
So how did this historic telescope make its way to Greenville? It went from Princeton to the Naval Observatory, where it was planned on being used to study stars, but just ended up staying in storage.
The U.S. government started looking for another use for it, and they created a contest to see which proposal for having the telescope was the best, that they thought it would do the most good and basically help the most people.
For $1 plus the cost to move the telescope, a piece of history now helps the upstate see the stars and beyond. Now, the Daniel Observatory and the telescope are only open to the public during special events and most Friday Starry Night programs. That's if the weather cooperates. Anna?